Hello, you're listening to the Mindset of Podcasting. In this podcast, we talk about all things podcasting, from setting it up, getting over those fears, and growing your podcast. I'm your host, Jillian, CEO of Jillian Grover Podcast Solutions. I've been helping women entrepreneurs start, manage, and grow their podcasts since 2020. Listen in as I give you all the tips and tricks I know about successfully launching and managing your podcasts. Let's go chat. So as a freelancer, we want to work with busy entrepreneurs. We want to help them and take more things off their plate. And those entrepreneurs don't have a lot of time on their hands to be watching videos or scrolling through social media to find you. But what they do have is time to pop in their headphones and listen to a podcast episode while they're driving, cleaning the house, or working out. So this is why I think podcasting is one of the best marketing platforms, especially to reach busy entrepreneurs who we want to help. And I want to make it clear right off the bat that podcasting is a marketing platform. It is not a way to make a ton of money in your business. Just like everything else, like any other social media platform or anything, it takes time to grow it. So when you are first starting out on your podcasting journey, your goal is to bring people into your world, to introduce them to your freebies, your offers, your services, your products, whatever you have. But the most important thing with your podcast is that you are giving value. You need to give a lot of value in each podcast episode. Give them an actionable steps that they can take away. Because when people listen to your podcast and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're giving this away for free. I wonder what they would do if I paid them. They'll start thinking about that and maybe become a client. So let's talk about the benefits of starting a podcast. One of the best benefits is that it will help you build that know, like, and trust factor. So they're going to get to know you by the stories and the experiences that you share on your podcast. And hopefully this will make it so that they start liking you. That is the goal. And then they will start trusting you as you deliver amazing value and show up consistently every week or bi-weekly or whenever your podcast is. Another benefit is that it is a great way to build your network, especially if you have guests on your podcast. Make sure that those guests align with the topic that you're talking about and that it's something that your listeners actually want to hear about. But then you can leverage their audience. How I do this is when I have a guest on my podcast, once I'm done getting the episode ready and all the graphics and reels or anything that I'm creating for social media, I send them an email with all of the assets that I've created for the podcast episode, along with some copy, like from the show notes, that they can use on social media. That way, it makes it as easy as possible for them to share the episode with their audience, because you want to get their audience into your world too. And also being a guest on other podcasts is a great way to grow your podcast, because people are already listening to that podcast. So it's super easy for them to be right there in the app and look up your podcast too and download it. So how do you find guests to be on your podcast or for you to be a guest on other podcasts? One of the best free tools that I use is matchmaker.fm. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just an amazing tool. Just sign up for an account. It's absolutely free and you can browse in your niche and look for podcasts. And you can also look for guests in that niche who you can have on your podcast. Another benefit is it helps you be seen as the expert in your niche. When you give amazing value on your podcast episodes that you're going to do, it is going to help you be seen as the go-to person for that, especially if you start expanding your network with all these guests you're going to have on and all the podcasts you're going to be on. Once you build that network, people are going to remember you and be like, hey, I know somebody who does that when they mention the niche that you do, and they're going to refer people to you. Building your network is an amazing way to grow your business, and you can easily do that through podcasting by having guests and being a guest. One of the benefits that I love about recording my podcast is that I can repurpose all that content. So I also video record my podcast so that I can create reels from it. I put the video on YouTube, but then I also can create graphics and post, and I even create a newsletter from the transcription of my podcast episode. So you can repurpose your podcast episode in so many ways. So I record my podcast episode, and then I have all that content to post throughout the week on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform I want to use. And it makes so much less work for me. One of the programs I use to do this is called Descript. You upload your video into it, And then it gives you a transcription of that video. And you can also take out little audio clips or video clips that you can repurpose. So Descript is an amazing tool. You can check it out for free too. Also not sponsored by them. I just love Descript and I use it to repurpose a lot of my podcasting content. So you've heard of all the benefits of starting a podcast, but how do you actually go about starting one? Well, I have a free PDF called 5 Steps to Starting a Podcast that you can download for free. But to get you started, the best thing to do is to go sign up for an account for Spotify for Podcasters. This is a podcast host where the back end of your podcast will live. And they give you step-by-step instructions of setting everything up from your podcast name, description, cover art, everything. Then it also gives you step-by-step instructions on how to get your podcast onto all those platforms like Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, all the places. It gives you step-by-step instructions. So if you download my PDF, I do have a link for Spotify for Podcasters in that PDF, and you can go there and get it all set up. So go download that PDF, and you'll also see at the end of the PDF, I have all my social media handles so that you can DM me if you have any questions. I will be happy to help you and answer anything that you have.